We have Professor Bindir here, Dr. Bindir. Okay, I think for the next 15 minutes, if His Excellency will also permit, we would want to take one of us, like I said of the first speaker, please before the citation of Dr. Bindir is on the brochure. 90% of us here know him, and of course we have read the citation over and over, so you can just read the citation again. So to take the next keynote address, please let's invite to the podium Engineer Dr. Umar B. Please let's put our hands together for him.
Thank you very much. Thank you so much. Your Excellency, sir, our own governor, the Excellencies, the presidents, and the chairmen of the various very high-powered institutions. It's not moving, Chief. Okay. Until I do that. This is an engineering conference, you know, it has to work. Yeah. So I deliberately requested the MC that we don't do the citation reading because I need more time. I already told the organizers that if you don't have 1 hour, don't invite me. They still invite you. Your Excellency, you know. And they refuse to listen. You know? Okay. You gave me this thing, it's not working. I told you that I don't present that way. That next slide doesn't work for me. See? I was telling them, Your Excellency, I said, next slide doesn't work for me. I needed my machine here, but they said it has to be there. Okay, if I do that, just press the next one. Go ahead now. Thank you very much for inviting me. My name is Umar Bindir. This is my new look. So I have graduated from the ordinary engineering look. This is the paper is there, it's available for you anytime you're free. This is my CV. Oops. I've done so many things. I was in academia, I got tired. Professor Shaibu Musa sacked me, so I left. And then I joined the civil service. I rose to the highest level. I became DG of NOTAB. From DG of NOTAB, DG of NOTAB, they hired me to go and join politics, just like they did to Prof. I understand totally when I see Prof on TV, hitting the table and so on and so forth. When I went to the state to work with the governor, I had to transform a little bit too. But in all the things I have done, I ended up to become a social entrepreneur, somebody who works for the people. And you cannot believe it. I started enjoying it. I sold everything I had. My land, my house in Yola, my cars, I had nothing. So I bought this house in the middle of Yola. I then smashed it into pieces. I knew exactly what I wanted to do. And then as an engineer, I built this one. And everybody was thinking that I was building a hotel or a shop. No, what I was building was, I built it and I turned it into the headquarters of my own non-governmental organization called the Bindir Knowledge Development Center. I wanted to take all these things I have done to the community and then pass it on before I die. So I registered it, I had a certificate. And in that center, I have a hall, a big hall. I have 120 pieces, desktop pieces there. And every day I will take 100 children from the community. And they will come into my center, they will learn 1 or 2 things. This is not a school, it is a knowledge center. So I made sure that once you come into my center, that day you have a story for your mother. So I was running through the civil service in the state, all those machines, 286s, 386s, scanners and so on that they have parked to one side. I will beg the PAMSEC, they will donate it to me, and my children will open it. And I'll be showing them transistor, a capacitor, color code for transistors, and I can tell you it was doing magic. So I used to take boys and girls. They will interact on the internet. I have 9-year-olds, 8-year-olds, very proficient on internet, free of charge. I don't charge anything. So I was getting so excited, I started harvesting the out-of-school children in the community. I used to bring them in the center. I used to collect books and Scrabble and Ludo and from the community. They have it. It's all scattered. So if you have it in your house, remember our center. I'll bring it. These children will then interact with it. But I realized that just that academic is not doing the magic. So I bought the next plot of land. I turned it into a sports space. I have badminton courts, I have table tennis tables, and the children used to come there and then play. And I saw a total change from my community. Now I'm preaching to you. The reason is I want to improve that open space to become closed so that it will become nice, and then you will do a number of very many activities in it. It can become for community development, business hub. I will teach women who are frying kuli-kuli to become formal, capacity building. I will teach headmasters to actually start teaching properly, technology hub. I will make sure that all the researches and development you do from your polytechnics and so on becomes businesses. Entrepreneurship. I want to kill poverty within the community by unleashing the power of technology to form small businesses. Even if it is frying puff puff, it can be done. And then it should become a recreation center. So I'm a very, very happy academic now. But enough of this center. So let's go to the lecture itself. That wasn't the lecture. So it's not part of it. So now, let me tell you, as agri-engineers and all of us as Nigerians, I think one of the reasons why we are having AGMs and conferences is because we really believe that we are very important and we can change this country. And we realize so many of the opportunities we have in our country. Our country is a country of grains and root crops. Our country is a country of livestock, poultry, aquaculture. We have cash crops all over the place, and so on and so forth. And we know, as engineers, we can contribute to the desire of this country, whereby we want to create a country that is peaceful, a country that is united, a country that is stable with very, very high productivity at all levels, and a country, for the theme of the conference, that is also experiencing food security, using that for development, and maybe we can participate as engineers, particularly as rural engineers or agricultural engineers, to modernize this country and probably take it to the industrialization level. So, but over 64 years, we've been doing this. Since after, and we're still struggling. We're struggling that we're not peaceful. We're struggling with productivity. We're certainly struggling with food security. So if you look at our country and you see the energy we have, this is a country that has over 270 functional universities. No country in Africa has this data. And universities are literally factories that are producing the critical mass of highly educated or technical manpower to solve problems. You know, and then you have over 600 NBTE accredited institutions, polytechnics, monotechnics, colleges of agriculture, all trying to produce young people who can actually be able to change, and so on and so forth. And, you know, when you look at these capacities and capability, I'm sure you have to start wondering, why? Why are we failing? Why are we not contributing adequately to ensure that we breed a peaceful and progressive country? I don't want to bore you with this. It's just so. We deeply looked at our what I call the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats in our country. We are a lot of people. Just having a large number of people, there are people who have lost inventiveness and innovativeness, and they think population in Nigeria is a problem. But actually it's an advantage. That population can buy your things. If you empower the population to become people who have money in their pockets, people who want to eat, people who want to enjoy, you can just concentrate on your population, and we have not managed to see these opportunities. We see it as a problem. Resource-based, there's nothing that we don't have in this country, from the smallest good thing to the largest. But we are facing challenge of very weak infrastructure. Our physical, socio-economic system is very, very weak. If you start from here to go to Yola by road, it's not just getting scared of robbers that will rob you or kidnappers that will kidnap you. The road itself is not good for this great country. We have very, very weak local industries. I was Director General of NOTAP. I can tell you, most, if not all, the things that we eat and enjoy in this country, if they are produced in this country, they are produced by foreign companies or companies that are using foreign engineering with all these engineers, even just on agri-engineering. We have very serious poverty problem. Our poverty problem ranges between 60 to 70%. The kind of poverty is not like I have one car and our chairman has 2 cars poverty. No. This kind of poverty is the number of people who don't have potable water to drink. So they are open to waterborne diseases. Their houses are not good, so they cannot sleep very well. When they wake up, no wonder you go to communities, the first thing in the morning that they're quarreling and shouting. They haven't slept well. You know? Then they have challenges of sanitation. We eat everything by hand, but you see our surrounding. It is all sanitation challenges, and so on and so forth. Now we have emerging challenges of the environment. Corruption is a very serious thing in our country. And most importantly, insecurity is a key issue in our country. So this will tell you why we are struggling for 64 years, that we cannot breed a country that is actually comfortable. All of which are roadblocks to me for a smooth and achievable food security. You cannot have food security with these kind of problems. If your roads are not good, your perishable things will perish. If your practices are not good, your losses will be very high. If you are not processing, it will rot and waste away. Food security will become a mirage if we don't address this. So that is why instead of looking at all the problems and attempt to make a presentation on you that you can solve infrastructure, I wanted to look at insecurity. I think that is a key problem. Without peace, it's impossible to actually attain food security. So, and even within this insecurity, I wanted to see communal security, because by my research, where we are now, it is a time when your brother will sell you to kidnappers, and they will tell you, the kidnappers, when you are available, where you are going, and they will come and pick you up. Or where are you going to go tomorrow, because your brother knows. So it is within the community. Most of these miscreants, when you catch them, if we were to do technical analysis, you will see that there are people in your own community. So I concentrate on communal insecurity. So I coined combating community-based insecurity innovatively and effectively as an engineer. If you can do that, then we can be able to attain good agricultural productivity and also food security. So now the models by which we address insecurity when it happens to us is that first we cry after it has happened. And you see us going to houses to greet people. Oh, they came last night and beat you up. Oh, sorry about it. Oh, they took your phone too. Sorry about this. And we are calming ourselves down, but it has already happened. Oh, when you hear that they are coming, even if it is false, you start just running helter-skelter. You are running away to save yourself. And then predicting it and addressing it, sometimes it does happen. And then ensuring peace when it is not there is also part of it. And all these things that you see, for me, depends on the quality and flow of communication and information. If you are not sharing information, if you are not working together in a synergized way, if you are not complementing each other, these community things will happen to you. But if you're talking to each other and you are referring to each other, comparing notes, it will be minimized gradually. So who is responsible for conducting this communication, synergy, and talking to each other? You know? So I said we have to look inwards. If I have a form here, but I will pass it very quickly. If you look at yourself first, should you be communicating you yourself? That is looking yourself in the mirror. I designed a form to demonstrate to you that even if you want to communicate, the way you are behaving, you cannot communicate. I normally give this form when I'm talking about this insecurity. I ask you questions about if you recognize institutions. Your name, your middle name, your first name, you know all that. What are you doing currently? From here, number 5, what is the exact name of your senatorial district? Don't think that everybody here will get it 100%. Somebody will say, I don't know, what concern me with these people? That is the beginning. What is your federal constituency? What is your state assembly constituency? What is the name of your local government? What is the name of your political ward? Then it starts getting more complicated. What is your traditional emirate and chiefdom? What is the name? And what is the name of your district? What is the name of your village or community? And what is the name of your angwa, your traditional ward? Wallahi, many people will not pass this at this level. This is the beginning of the challenge. But I go further, I create another questionnaire. That is personality. You have to name things. I say, name the name of your governor. There are people in Borno State. Now, the only thing they know is Zulum. And Zulum is not his name. It's just part of his name. You must know the full name because it is your governor. Then we ask you the name of your deputy governor. Your Excellency, I remember I was in the ministry, and we wanted to employ director generals. And then we wanted to reduce the number of the applicants. Professors were coming with their papers full of books. Then we said, let us ask them the name of their 5 deputy governors in Nigeria. I am telling you, all of them failed. And we managed to reduce the number until we reached what we wanted. So it's a problem. Then now we ask you, name your senator, name your member House of Reps, name the assembly, name your local government chairman, name your local government vice chairman, name your ward councillor, name your emir of king, your district head, your village head, your ward head, and your current divisional police officer. Wallahi, again, very few people will pass this. This is now looking yourself in the mirror. If you are at this level and you don't know these people, how do you communicate and be able to contribute to solving the insecurity? So I said this. Now next, ideally, even if you don't know this, there should be a place where you should be able to just click in these modern days and be able to get all the list. From here now, if Professor Nwalu wants to know, you just take his phone, go to Google, say data in his own state, and it'll show him all this, and quickly he will just say, I have passed everything. I can tell you that data, again, is not available. Not in one place. The people are there, the names are there. So, this is the first gap, in my opinion, in controlling insecurity. Now, the next gap is, ask yourself, how does the international community see us as a country? You say this, if you go to the Foreign Commonwealth Office and you want to come and invest in Nigeria, you have your money, you have your ideas, you normally go to that office and ask them, please advise me about Nigeria. Then they give you this map. In 2017, this was the map. Anywhere you see red, you see the key there, that is they are killing each other, don't go there. So in the Northeast, we stand very, very limited chance to actually get people coming, foreigners, to come and invest because the map already has condemned us. Then the yellow bit or amber that you see, the advice on the key is that don't go there unless it is absolutely necessary. So unless if your mother is dying, don't go there. They will kill you also. So that is situation. Then the green ones is get our advice before you go there. So the whole country is in trouble. And with this kind of key, you cannot have food security. This is 2017. Look, by 2024, this is the map. The tiny bit of red in Zamfara State, you see, it has now gone down. It is getting worse. And the few in the north is Taraba or whatever was green. And then now it is amber. It's getting worse. So when you look at the transition from 2017 to 2014, it is even getting worse. And I questioned this map, and I'm sure Excellency to question this map. I was with NGOs, international NGOs and ambassadors, and I said to them that I don't agree with this map. You mean in 2017 to 2024, all these projects that the governors have done, all this empowerment has no effect on security? So we have to, it means it is telling us that, again, even when we want to promote and brand our country for people to come, we have to do it ourselves. If we don't do it ourselves, these maps will continue until one day everywhere is red. And then we'll just see it, nobody will come here. You know? So, what I see, what these maps represent are all these things: killings, kidnappings, intense despondency, and so on and so forth. And we have tried many solutions. We have done direct engagement and combat. I think President Buhari tried. This time when, for example, Boko Haram, they were there like an army, fighting the army. I think he has quenched that level. Now we are left with things are happening within our own communities. People don't notice that. And, you know, we have spent so much money. We have tried formal and informal. Every state has all these people, Angora or whatever, they are running all over the place. And there are incentives that state give. So many things. And yes, most of these things, there are successes. But I can tell you, there are challenges which are still overwhelming in many of our states. We are constrained to random actions. Something happens and you just set up a committee, you are running helter-skelter, do something. I was SSG. I know how this thing was happening. Weak records, reviews, and reflections. We don't have good records on our insecurity. We do not review on the basis of evidence. We do not reflect on the basis of evidence. And the resources are getting tighter and tighter. And the economy is getting weaker. And poverty is rising. Corruption issues are everywhere. And there's intense politicization in managing this. But I still believe that there are ample, I will finish in a minute, there are ample resolutions and opportunities to resolve this. So, I said to myself, as engineers, this is where we are, our country. Is it possible that we can deploy all this? We can get our international friends. We can get professional institutions like ours. We can get the private sector, the security institutions, the traditional institutions, the non-governmental organizations, all working together so that we can eliminate the killing color. So that now, even if they want to advise somebody, they will say, don't go until it is absolutely necessary, but they will not kill you instantly. That has to be a measurable idea. This is the first level. Is it possible, I said, we engage more, we deploy more of our professionalism so that we get rid of the yellow, so that everywhere in Nigeria becomes, yes, you can go if we advise you. This is how to think as an engineer. And then maybe, if we engage more, we can be able to actually come up with a country where there is just no insecurity. It is only when we have this, or very close to this, that you can now do things and be able to attain food security in a safe and running. You can go to your farms, you can process at night, you can store anywhere, and so on and so forth. And so what do we need to do this? I said first, we need to isolate core communication and conflict issues. You see, all these things that I've listed are very difficult to measure. Poor communication. If you're not talking to people with the right language, you will generate insecurity and tension. Then, lack of compromise. You say, it's my tribe. I am not going to allow that tribe to actually scale through. You don't cool down to be able to move together. Needs are not met. So many people are complaining, and so on and so forth. We need to identify these things very, very seriously. And then, we need to identify all the opportunities that we can use to be able to engage our people and empower them through prosperity to be able to be smooth. And then we shouldn't lose sight of where we want to get to. Always, whatever you do, if you are not losing your sight, you will intensify. But if you lose the sight, you may actually go to the wrong track. So this is the way, in my opinion, thinking like an engineer that you can. So with engineers, there is nothing impossible. And I believe that this can be done. So this innovative thing, I call it community security intelligence and management, based on the activated participation of clear and recognized leadership. Now, this is where the beauty of the innovation comes. I have recognized two very clear public leadership, people who are leaders and they have control of territories. All of us are leaders here. I can tell you within this hall, there's only one person who is assigned to an area and he's sitting there. This is his constituency, and that is His Excellency the Governor. The rest of us, our leaders, are floating all over the place. So these two are politicians who are elected, have very clear constituencies. You are governor, you have your state. You are president, you have a country, and so on. And then the traditional people, there too. The king has the kingdom. The emir has the emirate, and so on and so forth. These are the only two. Now, so I put it political and traditional partnership. Instead of PPP, my own is PTP. All right? Political traditional partnership. And what does it do? When you look at the elected leaders, these are them. The president, the vice president, governors, senators, members of House of Reps. It is 7 levels. Each of these people have a very clear territorial name. Then the traditional people, typically it's like that. You have the first class, you have the district head, you have the village head, and then you have the Mayangwa, the ward head. Very clear again. The Angwa, you know the name of the Angwa. The district, you know the name of the district. So I said to myself, is it possible that you can identify these leaders and force them to be responsible to what they are leading so that they are comparing notes together to achieve those objectives? And then, though this is not new, but very innovatively, I looked at it and refined it and tested it in Adamawa State when I was SSG. I did this thing, and I saw. Because I used to tell the Excellency, I used to see, I don't know whether Governor Zulu, I'm sure he's facing that too. You see the informal security people, they will rush with their very funny dresses. They have kambu, they have liar, they have everything. They show you that the gun will not shoot them. They say, Excellency, Boko Haram is coming. We learn that they are going to enter. Their idea is if they can turn your head and they can get 20 million or 10 million, and then they go behind one big tree, they will share, and then they allow you. They maybe will beat some few people here to confirm to you that it has happened. And then they will come down again, and then they come back. So one day I was sitting there, they came and confused my governor. I said to the governor, I wanted specific things. Then I said to the governor, I said, sir, I'm going to give you a tool, and you will refine this. They will not like me, but it doesn't matter. He said, what is it? So I did it, what I did. And it worked very well. And I think everybody should implement it. You see, in Adamawa State, I identified all the political people who are elected with their constituency. The governor, he is on top of all the 21 local governments. But you see, the problem starts from the governor himself wants to implement projects in his own local government. That is why governors appoint commissioners. The commissioners are the images of the governor. And each commissioner is not supposed to see, I am for water resources, I'm on. No, he has to reflect the governor. He is commissioner of water resources, but he must know about local government. He must know about industry. He must know about, that is not happening. So the governor has to think again in addition to having these characters. You know, then you have 3 senators. In Adamawa State, I lined out all their senatorial districts. I drew this map, and I said the northern man, he's in charge of 5 local government areas. So anything happening in these 5 local governments, this man must be of interest. So I used to tell the governor that, PIM, that is happening in that senatorial district, call the senator. Don't just sit here and attempt that you are the governor and you can do anything. He must come, even if he is not your friend. Then the center and the south. Then we have 8 House of Reps. I drew another map again. I delineated all the local governments. And then we have 25 state assemblies. I then again drew the maps and showed where they are coming from. And then we have 21 local government chairman and vice chairman. That one is straightforward. And then we have 226 ward councillors elected. And I put all of them, each local government. You see Michika at the top there, they have 16 ward councillors. And then Ganya at the bottom, they have 10. We have 226. I said to the governor, let us map and identify these people with all their details. You see, what I did was, they're very clear, I can show. So we put them to one side. I did the same with the traditional people. We have first up to the ward Mayangwa. We have 8 first class emirs and kings. And then I called all of them because as SSG, I didn't know that I was very powerful. I used to fear these people, but when I said, I want to see all of you to discuss this insecurity, I'm not going to take it that people are running helter-skelter. They all came, including my father, the Lamido. And I can tell you, I also delineated their own areas. You see, this is where it starts getting interesting. The emir and the senator, their areas are overlapping. So how come something will happen and the senator is not talking to the emir and the emir is not talking to the senator? It will just become serious. So I went further. I said, each of these emirs, how many district heads do they have? I put them. There were 104 district heads in Adamawa State in this distribution. Then how many village heads do they have? We had 718 village heads. And then how many ward heads, Mayangwas? We had 7,810 of them. Each one has a name, and he has the little area that he is looking at. And then I also checked how they operate. So this overlap, I put it together. Each emir, how many local governments do they have under them? How many political wards do they have under them? And then I put the total there. Can you believe it that if you add from the politicians and the traditional leaders in Adamawa State, there are nearly 9,000 of them. They are all leaders. But something petty will happen, and nobody knows what has happened. I say, hold these people responsible, Your Excellency. If you don't want to be responsible, we kick you out. Because that's the beauty about politicians. They can even remove the emir, which is good. So now with all these numbers, you see that our own social development environment is very weak. And the investment is not going very well. It means leader is not looking at his people. If you like your people, you would want businesses to spring there. You would want things to happen, but you cannot leave them, and so on and so forth. So what we did now, I said they have to work together. So I put all these indices on what they should do. But the innovation I started with was that I now, at the first level, I documented all of them, both the political and their names, their titles, their qualifications, the party they belong to, the constituency, the home address, the phone numbers, the emails, everything. And I produced a booklet. Here, I produced this booklet. Know and speak to your political leaders in Adamawa State. All their names and their telephone numbers are here. Every ward councillor, every member house of rep, is a booklet like this. Lawal inatakada, you see there. I produced this, but politicians can be very funny. Because their telephone number is there, they can sue you. They say it's privacy. So what I did was, I produced this booklet. I went to the governor and said, Excellency, you have written a book. He said, I have written a book? I said, yes, sir. He said, what is it? I had already written the preface or the foreword in his name. I said, this is your book, sir. You can identify all the political leaders. Yeah, this is very good. I said, sign here, sir, because you are the author. And he signed for me. After he signed for me, you know what I did? This is the booklet. You see it here. All their names and their telephone numbers are here. So I now printed it massively, 10,000 copies. I shared it to all the political people. So talk to your people, people. I shared it with the traditional leaders. Call your people. Key community stakeholders, head of institutions, and everybody. I shared it. We experimented with the governor in his office. I said in Madagali, they are always saying Boko Haram. And one of the most dangerous words is like this. Sometimes it doesn't happen. So I speak to the ward councillor. So I just open it, called the man, and he answered. Yes? I said, he doesn't know who is Dr. Bindir. I said, okay. Are you councillor? Yes. I said, let me give you a friend to speak to. I gave Bindo. Bindo said, hello. I said, who is this? It's Bindo. Your Excellency. He started shivering. He said, doctor, this thing is working. I said, that is the reason. This is the beginning of the communication. So what I did then, I did exactly the same with the traditional leaders. All the first-class emirs and kings, all the district heads, all the village heads. There are over 9,000 to 10,000 of them. I again wrote them on Excel, their names, their titles, their telephone numbers, and I opened that link to anybody who wants to do. Why? Because without knowing these people, you cannot be able to even contribute to the development of the community, not to talk of. So now, to produce the Adamawa, what I call Public Traditional Partnership Management Information System, that is it. So with that booklet and data alone, usefulness is that people are recognizing and remembering their leaders, like I asked you in the beginning. They are using it to convey and get information. They are keeping elected leaders on check. There was one particular member who never comes to his constituency. The whole constituency was calling him and abusing his father. And then he said, I put him in trouble. So one day I got him, we went there, I normalized everything, I organized a function, and they sang for him, and then he shared some money, and everything calmed down. I said, then, from today, don't run away from them. That is the way you keep because that is the practice. Then, we recognize contributions in communities. Anybody you contribute, people will call you and thank you. And politicians like to be thanked. When you get more calls, you tend to do more. And then peer review performance, intelligence tracking and management, and so on and so forth. I even passed this booklet to schools so that children can now know what is a constituency, who is your leader, what is House of Reps, what is Senator. I printed it, I shared it to the schools, and now the political. So the technical elements, very quickly, I'm concluding now. I started saying that I will map the insecurity now. Now we are into the security. So we first generated a questionnaire, and I caught 26 indices of insecurity, from cattle rustling, kidnapping, armed robbery, and everything that is happening randomly all over the place in Adamawa State. And then this questionnaire, I shared it to honorable commissioners, Shabi, you are from your local government. Tell me what kind of insecurities that are happening in your local government. High, medium, and low. I give you the paper and you tick. I gave it to the members of House of Reps. You see, they overlap with the commissioners in local government. And then district heads and so on, and all other stakeholders. And then when I got that information, similar to this now. You see this form says, Prof, I will stop in a minute. Oh, okay. The district is that. The district head, you put your name. When did he receive this questionnaire? When did he return it? And you see, I realized that as SSG, you can do so many things. I can tell you, if you tell an emir that you need information tomorrow, you'll get it. I didn't know the power I had until when I started this. But if you sit in the office, you will not know this. There is a very strong... So they will tick like this and give me the information. And then I use this information now to map the insecurity in the state. This is the insecurity map. You see here the local government, and all that on the top row is the security indices. And all the colors that you see is the insecurity at the highest level happening in that local government. So with this map, if you see the map very dark covering this, your state is insecure. If you measure it again in 6 months, you see it is getting lighter, it means your strategies are working. And you can be able to tell so many things just by mapping like that. And this map will show you the local government with the most challenges. In Adamawa at that time, Jada local government was the most dangerous local government. And it was true. That's why after 4 o'clock, if you pass through Jada, you are on your own. They didn't know why. And then one of the biggest problems that this chart identified is drug addiction. From this tramadol, smoking Indian hemp, drinking alcohol, and so on and so forth, was the key challenge in Adamawa State. We found that just through this map. So, and then you just utilize this, you can be able to upgrade the performance of your security councils and be able to even design programs for insecurity solutions using that map, and you can monitor and evaluate. And then the third level is that you need to map the security, because it's randomly doing things, thinking that everything is normal is not the way to go. So I listed all the security infrastructures that we have, from Nigerian police, Nigerian army, in the whole state. Where do they have an office or representative? Local government by local government. I did that mapping too. So that if you are tackling a particular local government, you know the kind of insecurity people that or security outfits that they have. If you're assuming that every local government has army, it's not true. And so on and so forth. So the third is that I did information outlets. I digitized all the sources of information, from television, radio, information offices, national orientation, all of them I listed. That one too, I mapped it local government by local government. Because if you want to give information, you should know the kind of information system that is functioning in that local government. Okay? Then I caught the tribes. Even I listed all the tribes in Adamawa State and located them, because I observed that if in Numan, a Fulani boy is killed, you go to the Fulani local government, they will just start catching Bachamas and killing them. Tribal. So once you hear a problem with a tribal thing, the security operatives knows what to do in local governments where those other tribes are, to quench and calm the nerves. I did that too, to make sure that it works. Markets and market days. You know, our structure is that every village has a market day. So Ngurore is on Wednesday, Fufore is on Saturday, and so on and so forth. I mapped all these markets again, town by town and village by village. Because if you see somebody buying cutlasses and knives on market day, you know something is brewing. Okay? So you can investigate. So I did that and mapped that too and started using it. Commercial and public transport. All the Tasha, where you can catch a bus or whatever to travel to another village, I documented all that. Because once you see people coming to shatter a bus or to carry bus to go and carry them, start suspecting that they want to go and kill people. You know, so you follow that again, and then you talk to the management. I then mapped out all the commercial development and community financial facilities, from commercial banks, development banks, community banks, and even the new financial institutions, including POS. I documented all of them. So once you see somebody withdrawing a lot of money, start suspecting in a community, maybe they have kidnapped their daughter or whatever, and he is struggling. And you can be able to address that. And then I mapped up all the agriculture and mineral resources, courtesy of raw material research and development. In every ward, they have this data. This will also show you sometimes insecurity is connected to the resources that you have. And if you want to design programs, you need this information too, local government by local government. And then I did correctional facilities. All these prisons, one of the challenges, I'm sure the governor too has seen that, is that when we catch people, we just catch them and lock them up, whether they run away or they free them or they go again. They will go and steal again and kill people somewhere. And we don't know. We started a program of documenting and fingerprinting anybody who enters the prison. So that when we catch you again, we will see that, is it not you? Or you again? That will tell you that this is a kingpin and he's doing wahala, you know. So, all this data will now form the backbone of information infrastructure to communicate. Fourth level is PTP Security Incidences Field Week. This is the final slide. I selected some of this insecurity. I then designed a standard graphic questionnaire. This is the most interesting bit I enjoyed. I then designed this form. You see, I have the security incidents, and I have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. All my anguas. Your Excellency, listen to this one before you go. Just 5 minutes. Sorry. You know, all my anguas will have this form. Every day, they will report what has happened. So if there is a robber on Monday, you'll just tick that. If there is a childbirth on Tuesday, you will tick that. So every week, when you have this form, you can now come and be able to, we produced it, we trained the Mayanguas, and they were collecting real-time data. And I can tell you, by the time we started working, all the Mayanguas, every week, they will go and report to the village head. And they will just, so the village head has 6 Mayanguas. So what is happening in your area? He put his paper. He will see, Monday there's a fight, Tuesday there's a fight, Wednesday there's why are they fighting so much in your ward? He will say, this DPO's son will not listen. He is drinking alcohol and nobody can talk to him. Then you know what to do. You know? And then the village head will report to the emir, the district head, every week. And then the district head will report to the emir every month. And I too, the local government chairman, will get that data, and I too, in my office, I get that. I am telling you, all my Security Council meetings that I call the attention of the governor is based on evidence. Once we call Security Council, it's not just to come and drink tea because something has happened. So these things, but it will only happen, Your Excellency, if there is incentive. In Adamawa State, the way we incentivize the ward councillors to be doing this religiously, we put a cash transfer, 5,000 naira to every ward councillor, Mayangua. And then every village head, we are giving them 10,000 every month. And then the district head, 15,000. Do you know how much it costs me every month? The whole payment is just 49.7 million. So what the governor did, we put it under JAG. Every month, they will drop 50 million naira in the SSG's account. Then how to dispense it? The district has wanted to do me, Your Excellency. They went and reported me to the MS. They said, Dr. Bindir doesn't know these village heads, ward heads. Let them give them the money so that they can pay, so that they will pocket it. So I went to the emirs, the council, I sat there, all of them. I said, no, you have to push your people to develop. They must have account. No, because they will start, they are village people, they don't have, go to the next village and go and get it. How will you develop? So then they were doing gra-gra. I asked my PAMSEC, do we have some data to do with accounts? He said, yeah, some people have given. I said, pay them. When they did e-payment, and the people saw some few people got payment, I am telling you, in 1 week, I got everybody, they opened their account, and I started working. Yes. So that is how you can build this technologically. You can build a fantastic data management system. And you can be able to, this is just the infrastructure you require, where they are catching the information, and all these activities need to be deployed urgently. And if we do that, we can be able to evolve a dependable community security system. And it may even be institutionalized so that we can be able to achieve what our leaders want. Look at your resources safely, develop it so that you can attain your peace and unity and all these good things. Then engineers would have showcased a new Nigeria to the world, in my opinion. And we can be able to create a free Nigeria for everybody to operate, and this can be done It is specific, it is measurable, it is achievable, it is realistic, and the time is now. So I believe that I have briefly introduced you to the innovation I've created, and I hope you enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Engineer Dr. Bindir, everybody enjoys him, everybody wants to hear him talk, and nobody gets tired when he's talking. I want to believe that his lecture was explicit, it was simple, it was precise, maybe concise, with the volume of things he said. Once again, thank you for that powerful lecture.